The day before my wedding, he placed a paper before me, a prenup, that left me with nothing. I signed it with tears in my eyes, never knowing I'd soon be worth $600 million. They say love is blind, but no one told me it can also be expensive. That morning, I thought I was securing forever. Turns out, I was signing my ticket to humiliation. If this is your first time on this channel, hey bestie, you're most welcome here. Mention in the comment section where you're watching from so we can all hug to welcome you. Don't forget to subscribe as your official sign-up to the Ugochi Tales TV gang. I grew up in Rumomasi. My aunt, Mrs. A.B. Briggs, raised me like I was her own. She wasn't rich, at least not that I knew. Just a gentle woman with flower in her face and wisdom in her eyes. She'd say, Amara, no matter how life treats you, never let it take your kindness. And I believed her. I lost my parents when I was 12. I learned early how to stand on my own feet. That's probably what made Brian notice me. He was the son of Chief Okoro, an oil magnate known across Rivers State. Brian walked into the room like someone the world had been waiting for. Confident, charming, the kind of man that made people feel small and special at the same time. When he spoke to me after my presentation, I felt seen. For the first time, I wasn't the orphan girl from Rumomasi. I was Amara Briggs, the woman who impressed an Okoro. He proposed publicly. Flowers, lights, cameras, everything staged like a movie. People clapped, phones recorded, and I cried. Not because I was overwhelmed, but because for once I felt chosen. He said he loved my mind, not my money. I didn't realize that was because I had none. When you come from nothing, you don't question too many blessings. You just say thank you and hold them close.
The day before our wedding, Brian said he needed me to sign something small. His tone was casual, his smile reassuring, the kind that hides a storm. Ifeyin, his family lawyer, handed me the papers, a prenup, stating that if our marriage ended, I would walk away with nothing. I stared at the bold letters. Zero, not even a courtesy allowance. My heart pounded. Brian, what is this? He leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees, and said calmly, It's just business, Amara. You know how rich families are. My dad insists it's a formality. A formality. A paper that stripped me of dignity was to him a formality. Chidi, my best friend, was furious when I told her. She said, a friend that asks you to sign away your worth before marriage isn't a husband, he's a warning. But I was blinded, not by love, but by hope. I wanted to believe in him. I wanted to believe I could make the Okoros see me as one of them. So that night, with hands that wouldn't stop shaking, I signed. My tears fell silently, landing on my signature, like a curse I didn't know I was breaking. If only I had known that sometimes the paper meant to cage you becomes the very proof of your freedom.
The wedding was everything a girl could dream of, and everything I didn't need. Gold, champagne, cameras flashing, but not 1 ounce of peace. People whispered about me that day. She's the lucky girl marrying Chief Okoro's only son. Another voice, at least, shall never know poverty again. If only they knew poverty was never about money. It was about dignity. When I looked at him walking down that aisle, I told myself this was love. But deep down I knew it was a performance. A business alliance dressed in lace and diamonds. And me? I was just the signature that sealed it. At first I tried. I really did. I told myself, Amara, if you are patient, he'll change. But patience, I learned, cannot fix pride. Brian became colder by the day. He threw parties at our Bonny Island villa. Models, influencers, music so loud it could drown truth itself. He would post pictures with captions like, living the dream, while I lived the silence. On dinners I spoke, he scrolled. When I reached for his hand, he moved his phone instead. They say the worst loneliness isn't being alone. It's being invisible beside someone who once said they loved you. One night, I heard him bragging. She's just a charity project, guys. With that prenup, she's stuck with me. Poor girl thinks she hit jackpot. Laughter, male, cruel, echoing. My chest tightened. I stood there, behind the door, hand on my stomach, trying to hold back the sickness rising in me. That night, I didn't cry. I just sat in the dark, staring at the wedding picture on the wall. His smile wide, mine unsure. It wasn't the shock that broke me. It was the calmness on his face. He didn't even flinch. He looked up, saw me and smirked. "Oh, you are home early." Something inside me shattered quietly. "Brian, how could you?" He stood, adjusted his shirt, and said coldly, "What are you going to do, Amara? Leave? You walk away with nothing." Remember the prenup? That line hit harder than betrayal. It was mockery, dressed in power. I wanted to scream, to fight, to burn everything down, but I didn't. I just packed my suitcase in silence. When I stepped out of that mansion, I didn't know where I was going, only that I was done being the background in my own story. I went back to my aunt's bakery apartment in Rumu Omasi. The smell of bread, the creaking fan, the memories, they all welcomed me like an embrace. There, I cried like a child again, not because I lost him, but because I lost myself trying to be enough for him. 2 weeks later, I lost the only person who ever loved me truly, my aunt, Mrs. A.B. Briggs. It felt like life was closing in from every side. After the burial, her lawyer, Barrister Ifeanyi Briggs, invited me for the reading of her will. I barely listened. He said, "She left you some property, Miss Amara, a few investments, nothing too complex." I nodded weakly. At that point, I didn't care about property. I just wanted her voice back. When the papers were placed before me, I signed them quietly. After that, I stopped answering calls, stopped checking social media. Even Chidi tried to reach me, but I couldn't talk. Days turned into nights, nights into silence. I would wake up to the smell of my aunt's old bakery tools, her rolling pin, her apron, and I would whisper, "Where do I go from here?" That calm, I didn't know it then, but it was the quiet before destiny walked through the door.
He thought he took everything from me. But sometimes, when you lose everything, heaven starts rearranging what belongs to you. A man in a navy blue suit stood there, holding a brown envelope. He introduced himself as Barrister Chike Obi, from Briggs & Co. Chambers. He said, "Madam Amara, are you available for a brief meeting regarding late Mrs. Abby Briggs' estate?" I sighed.
Another lawyer talk. Another reminder of what I'd lost. We sat in the small sitting room, the same one where Aunt Ebby and I used to drink tea before dawn. He opened a file, cleared his throat, and said, "Miss Amara, before her passing, your aunt owned 50% of a company called Solar Port Energy Systems, a green tech subsidiary that recently sold to a multinational firm for $1.2 billion. I blinked. The words didn't make sense. He continued, unfazed by my silence. According to her will, your share is valued at approximately $600 million, plus real estate holdings and offshore accounts. I laughed. Not the joyful kind, but that hollow laugh people give when life suddenly makes no sense. Barrister, are you sure you have the right Amara? He smiled gently. Yes, Miss Briggs. Your aunt was quite private. She wanted you to learn humility before wealth. Her words, not mine. My aunt, who baked meat pies for a living, was a silent billionaire. Sometimes, the ones who look the simplest carry the deepest secrets of grace. As the lawyer left, I sat there in silence, staring at the letter. My heart raced, not from excitement, but disbelief. I walked to the mirror and whispered, $600 million, Amara Briggs. For the first time in years, I smiled. Not because of money, but because for once, I could finally breathe without permission.
The next few weeks felt like a dream, written in capital letters. A fleet of black SUVs arrived at my gate one morning. My aunt's lawyers, assistants, and a financial manager. They took me to my aunt's mansion in Old GRA, a serene, flower-laden property I never knew existed. The house smelled like new beginnings. And for the first time, I wasn't visiting wealth, I was wealth. Then came the transformation. New wardrobe, new presents. Not arrogant, elegant. I cut my hair short, got fitted in tailored suits, and walked into rooms that used to ignore me. People who once looked down on me suddenly wanted to collaborate. Social media caught wind of it. Hashtag New Amara started trending. Photos of me at charity events, interviews about women in tech, and the caption, "From heartbreak to 600 million, Amara Briggs' story inspires PH." But beyond all that noise, I knew what I wanted most: peace. I started the Ebby Foundation, a fund for women entrepreneurs in Rivers State, because I'd learned that empowerment is the sweetest revenge. They took my dignity for free, so I bought it back in silence and with interest. Chief Okoro's company, Okoro Energy Group, was under investigation for a massive financial scandal. Stock prices were falling, contracts were being terminated. Brian sat there, disheveled, reading the headline, "Amara Briggs, heiress of Solar Port Energy, set to launch $100 million Women in Tech Fund." He couldn't believe it. Later that week, he showed up uninvited at one of my charity galas in Trans Amadi, the same venue where we once dined as newlyweds. He looked smaller now, not physically, but in spirit. "Amara," he began, voice trembling slightly. "I've missed you. We were young. I made mistakes. Can we start over?" I smiled politely, my champagne glass shimmering in the light. "Brian, I'm glad you still recognize me. Not every man remembers what he threw away." He forced a chuckle. "I'm serious, Amara. Let's talk privately.
I was stupid, okay? I didn't know. I leaned closer, eyes calm, voice steady. You didn't know my worth. Now, the whole city does. Life has a way of turning tables, not loudly, but precisely. And when it does, even silence sounds like thunder. Behind every great comeback is a plan, and mine was already in motion. With guidance from Ifeanyi, yes, the same lawyer who once handed me that prenup, I acquired 30% of Okoro Energy Group's shares through multiple holding companies. When the board finally called an emergency meeting to discuss their new investor, I showed up. "Good morning, gentlemen," I said, sliding a file across the table. "I believe we have business to discuss." Chief Okoro cleared his throat. "What is the meaning of this?" I smiled faintly. "It means your new majority shareholder would like to bring a touch of accountability to your empire." Bran's jaw clenched. "Amara, this isn't funny." "Oh, I know. Nothing about justice is." I wasn't there for revenge. I was there to show that the girl who once signed for nothing now signed everything. News spread like wildfire. From broken wife to billionaire shareholder. Every gossip blog, every media outlet carried my name. And the irony, the same document Brian once used to enslave me became his undoing. He tried one last thing, claiming emotional distress, saying he helped build my public image. But Ifeanyi, calm as ever, slid the prenup across the table and said, "Sir, you made her sign this yourself. It states she's entitled to nothing, and so are you." Brian's lips trembled. His father closed his eyes in shame. I stood, adjusted my blazer, and said quietly, "I guess we're even now."
Sometimes, the best revenge isn't payback. It's becoming everything they swore you couldn't be. Power doesn't always walk in with noise. Sometimes it enters the room quietly, wearing heels. When I stepped into that boardroom, I wasn't the girl Brian once dismissed. I was the woman who could buy his father's company before lunch. Chief Okoro stood, trying to maintain his authority. "Madam Briggs, surely this is some kind of joke. Our family has been in the energy business for decades." I smiled faintly. "And yet, your family's largest investor is standing right in front of you." He froze. Brian shifted in his seat, sweat forming on his temple. "I came here not to embarrass you, Chief," I said, sliding a folder towards him. "I came here for business, to stabilize a company that once mocked my worth." Chief Okoro cleared his throat. "What exactly do you want?" I met his eyes. "Accountability, transparency, and the one thing your son never understood, respect." Brian finally spoke, voice low and shaky. "Amara, you can't just waltz in here and take over everything." "Oh, Brian," I cut in, voice soft but sharp. "You made me sign away everything. I learned how it feels to lose power. Now, it's your turn." The silence that followed was heavy, like justice taking its first breath. I didn't come to destroy them. I came to remind them that sometimes the stones they throw away become cornerstones. Good afternoon. As the new principal investor in Okoro Energy Group, my focus is restoring integrity to this brand. The future of energy in Nigeria belongs to those who value people over profit. Reporters whisper. One murmurs, "Isn't that his ex-wife?" Amara smiles faintly. Later that week, Brian storms into her office, flustered, clutching newspapers. Headlines scream, "Wife once left with nothing, now owns husband's company." He bursts in, voice trembling. "Amara, please, you've made your point. Don't ruin me." She doesn't look up from her laptop. "Ruin you? No, Brian. I'm simply doing what you taught me. Business." He steps closer, desperate. "Let's forget the past. I'll make it right. I was wrong, okay? I love you, always did." She closes her laptop slowly and stands, calm but fierce. "Love," she repeats. "You called me a charity project, Brian. You told your friends I'd be stuck forever." She walks closer until their eyes meet. "You are right about one thing. I am stuck, but not with you, with purpose." He swallows hard. "Amara, please, just give me something, anything. You have everything now." Ifeanyi enters, now her corporate counsel, standing by the door. Ifeanyi speaks firmly. "Actually, Brian, you made her sign a document stating she gets nothing if the marriage ends. That clause, unfortunately, also protects her from you. You're not entitled to a single naira of her assets, not even her forgiveness." Brian's voice breaks. "So, that's it?" Amara smiles sadly. "That's justice. He made me sign away my worth, so I let destiny sign me into abundance."
The same world that once pitied me now applauded me. But the truth is, my victory wasn't about money. It was about peace. The kind that glows quietly in your chest long after the noise fades. They say life comes full circle. Mine came with interest. I once cried in a bakery apartment, wondering if love had abandoned me. Now, I lead a company that powers cities and hearts. But I've learned something about power. It's not in wealth or revenge or headlines. It's in knowing when to be still. My Amara, you will understand one day. God hides riches in pain, so only the strong can find them. Tears glisten in her eyes. She walks down to a small stage by the water. Cameras flash as she donates 500 million naira to empower young girls in tech. "This foundation isn't about money," she says softly. "It's about reminding women that no paper can define their worth." The crowd applauds. He made me sign a prenup, giving me nothing, but heaven made me an heir to everything. Sometimes, what they deny you is only God's way of redirecting you. And when grace finally speaks, even contracts bow down. Would you sign a prenup for love, even when your gut tells you not to? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications, because more powerful stories like this are coming your way right here on Ugochi TV.